Hello, I'm going to go over compressing images in Word. So here we have a short manuscript that contains 3 images, and the images were imported correctly. They are anchored correctly. However, when we brought them into our design software, what we noticed was that the images were actually duplicates of the same larger image, which contained all 3 of these images. So what I mean by that is that one file contains a collage of all of these images. And this can happen if perhaps you had your images scanned and several images were placed on the flatbed and they were all scanned at one time. So all you have is one file that contains several of these images. And so the images were brought into Word and then they were cropped down to whichever image pertained to that section of text. So the reason why this causes an issue for the designers is that once this is brought into our design software, instead of retaining that image that is in that object frame, it will shrink and distort the entire collaged image instead. And you can see that that is not the look that you're going for. So another reason that this can present an issue is that if we are working with an image heavy manuscript and this treatment was done where a larger file was repeated over and over throughout the document, it can unnecessarily increase your file size, which can cause Word to lag a little bit when you're working on it. So before we move on to how to compress your images, I will just take note of the current file size so we can compare later. So this file size is on the smaller side because the manuscript isn't very long, but we're looking at just about 2.5 megabytes. Okay, so then to compress these images, you're going to select the first image in question. And once you select that image, a picture format tab will appear at the top. You're going to click on that. And then you're going to look for the compress pictures button and click that. And this dialog box that appears may look a little bit different depending on if you're on a Mac or on a PC, but the information is the same. First, we're going to select the resolution of the images, and we do not want to reduce the resolution at all. So we are going to keep this at the highest option, the maximum PPI. And then you're going to make sure that delete cropped areas of pictures is checked off, because that's basically what we're doing here. Wherever you crop the images, you want to keep that image and then delete everything around it, reducing the image file down. So then it gives you an option if you want to do this globally throughout the entire manuscript, or if you want to do it picture by picture. In this case, I'm going to leave all pictures in this file selected, and you click OK. So then I'm going to quickly save this file, and then we will double check to see if it has made a difference to our file size. Give it a couple seconds. And yeah, it did. So we started off at 2.5 megs, and now we're at 1.32 megabytes. So it reduced it a little bit over a megabyte, which in this case, because we're working with a smaller file, isn't a large amount, but you can get the idea that if we're working with an image heavy document, that this can make an impact. So then just to double check, we'll go back into our formatting document and re-import this image, or I'm sorry, re-import this manuscript. And there you go. Now all of the images are cropped to the image that is meant to appear in each of those sections. And that is how you compress your images in your manuscripts.